What's up, Soul Tribe, and welcome to episode 3 of Soul Talk. I am so excited to be here today, as I am every time that I come here and speak with you guys. I hope everyone is doing well. If you are new to this channel, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're already familiar with this channel and you're already a part of the Soul Tribe, then still make sure you like and comment below. And I'm so happy that you have joined us again. Now, Soul Talk is basically a series full of life's lessons and knowledge that I've gained in my lifetime, that I've applied to my life and turned it into wisdom. I've noticed that a lot of people come to me for advice and for guidance, and I've written down so many lessons that I went through and how I overcame them. And I figured that, why not share it with the world and share it with the people who resonate with me the most? I'm not going to be for everybody. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Now, usually once I start my videos, I already have my notebook and a list of things written out. But today I just really wanted to speak from the heart. If you follow me on social media, then you would know that I took a bit of a hiatus because I just needed some spiritual maintenance. I feel like Instagram and YouTube and just these different social media platforms was kind of taking over my life. It was making me less disciplined, less focused. So one of the things that I've been really focusing on is mastering my mind. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. He also has other books, and I am a reader myself. I love to read. And so this book that he has, it's called Success Habits, Proven Principles for Greater Wealth, Health, and Happiness. I'm at a point in my life where I'm ready to level up and go to new levels. I'm tired of the same circumstances and situations popping up, but it just looked different with different people. While I've been trying to master my mind, I've noticed that I've just been having this spirit of procrastination, this spirit of fear, this spirit of self-sabotage. And I really didn't notice it until I started paying attention. So I think that in these past couple weeks, I've been actually going through a spiritual rebirth. I've been having a lot of different dreams, and I've been in water. I've even had dreams about like seeing animals die, and then like a minute later they come back alive. So I know that what I'm going through is the renewal of my mind. And I wasn't really conscious of the way that I was thinking until I started consciously paying attention to my thoughts. One of the things that I really noticed is that I've been so accustomed to thinking negatively. I've been so accustomed to playing small and, thinking the worst is going to happen before thinking the best is going to happen. I felt like that's what life was giving me. It's like as soon as I manifested something and I would be up at the top, and there would be a fear of me falling back down again, because it's happened so many times. Of course, in this lifetime, we're going to have ups and we're going to have downs. But so many times I've been up and then I came back down, and I just figured like, well, I guess that's my life. For a long time, I thought it was cursed, especially when you go on Instagram and you see all these people winning and you see all these people doing the things that you want to do. Then you're just like, what is the difference between them and I? That's what I had. That's the type of conversation that I had to have with myself. I had to really start talking to myself and get into the root of the issues that I was dealing with. And then once I started being aware of the type of thoughts that I was thinking, then that's when I started to notice how other people were speaking to themselves. So we have these relationships with people where we're a ride or die. We're gonna be there for people at a drop of a dime. But when it comes to ourselves, we can't really depend on ourselves, or we can uplift somebody. When it comes to ourselves, we don't lift ourselves in the way that we uplift others. As I've been working on deepening a loving and harmonious relationship with myself, I realized my thoughts. And You know, as I told you guys before, if you're in the past, you know, that's kind of making you depressed, you know, and if you're thinking in the future, it's causing you to be anxious. And it's so important to be in the present moment. Well, it's easier said than done, obviously. You know, sometimes I can preach a good game, but it's hard for me to really carry that full out. And I'm sure that it may be hard for you guys as well. Every time I thought about my past, it made me cry, you know, and I decided that I wanted my past to empower me versus to disempower me, because that's what was going on. I felt like I couldn't get any farther because I thought of the times where I did get far and then something happened, you know what I'm saying? Something traumatic happened, and I wasn't really cleaning those wounds. I wasn't really spending the time with myself to get past those things, because I was so stuck in sadness, and I was so stuck in being a victim, playing the victim role. You know, this stuff always happening to me. One day I saw something that said, change your story. What's going to get you to where you want to go, you have to be a different version of yourself. So even in the past, when I was at my maximum potential for that time, even that wasn't going to get me to where I want to go now. So I have to recreate myself. I have to reinvent myself. And the way to do that is through the mind, is through my thoughts. For a period of time when I was doing well and I was up, it's because I had that consistency, that focus, you know, that determination and that drive. And then for some reason, something happened in my life, which was only there to make me stronger. It wasn't there to hinder me. And then I fell off. Like, God didn't bring me here just to suffer. You know, I think that suffering brings you a lot of wisdom. You know, you gain a lot of insight. You are able to relate to people. You know, suffering can be a blessing in disguise, but it isn't meant for us to stay there. Just like you hear the saying, like, if you feel like you're in hell, why would you stop in hell? And that's the same thing. If you feel like you're suffering in mind, you have to keep going. You know, and we are all going to experience dark times, because even God came from darkness and he said, let there be light. So God came from the darkness. So of course, we're going to experience dark times, but it's going to make us better people. I ran across this page in the book. So the man was basically interviewing Napoleon Hill. And he said, you had some experience with struggle during your early days, didn't you? And Mr. Hill said, yes, I was blessed at birth with 4 powerful causes for struggle, namely poverty, fear, superstition, and illiteracy. And so when I saw that he said that those were blessings, I'm like, what? It's not a blessing to be in poverty. It's not a blessing to be suffering in the mind. It's not a blessing to be depressed. But really what I needed to do is change my perception, is change my perspective. Anyway, he said, did you say blessings? Mr. Hill said, yes, blessings, because I was destined to devote my life to helping my fellow men overcome these 4 common causes of failure. And I needed to learn something about them at their source. On the lighter side of my blessings, you may be interested in knowing that I was tagged with the name Napoleon, with the hope of my parents that a great uncle by the same name would leave me a portion of his fortune when he died. Fortunately, he didn't. I say fortunately because I know what happened to those whom he did leave his money. Whereas in my struggle to master poverty, fear, superstition, and illiteracy, uncovered knowledge, which I have been privileged to share with millions of people who have benefited by it. And they received only money, which did not last long. When I read that passage, it was so powerful to me, because if things are just handed to you easily, what type of knowledge, what type of wisdom do you gain from it? Really, it just makes you lazy. It just makes you feel like things are supposed to be handed to you. But when you're struggling, when you're in poverty, when you're in depression, when you're in those dark times, it strengthens you to be able to get out of it and to be able to help others along the way. But if I came to a person who just always have money handed to them, and if they ever fell off, they wouldn't know how to pick themselves back up, and they can't really relate to other people that's not in their situation. So I started thinking of the things that I've been through in the past, because I've been through so many things. I started to think about it as blessings, and I started to acknowledge that it is a reason why I went through those things, because I am strong enough to overcome them, and I am powerful enough and influential enough to help others overcome it as well. It is part of my destiny, it's part of my journey. It is a part of how I became me. Really, when I think about it, actually my struggles was setting me up for success, and I didn't realize, because I was so stuck in the past, and I was so stuck in this state of mind of being a victim. And you know, once I started mastering my mind, then I seen it in my mom, then I started to see it in my grandmother, then I started to see it, you know, it's something that's deeply rooted into your family. And if you're not really into self-development and working on self each and every day, then you won't really notice it. That's why when people say, oh, you changed, reason why you don't see my growth or you don't see my transformation in a positive way is because you yourself haven't changed, and you and yourself haven't transformed. And so how could you possibly see the growth in me if you haven't grew? God is the source of why I am victorious now. It's because of God. But also it's because of the work that I wanted to do, the work that I wanted to put in, me actually trying to break the habits that turned me into a person that I don't want to be. You know, and I think that everything leads back to self-love. We go through all these different things, but everything is just leading back to self-love. It's to choosing you first and making decisions that aligns with unconditional love for self. But I didn't know that these struggles were actually the keys to my success. Listen, I didn't have the best childhood, but everything that I went through, it prepared me for what was coming next. And it made me even stronger to get through it. I'm challenging myself to the things that I said that I'm going to do, I'm actually going to start doing them, because every time I tell myself that I'm going to do something and I actually don't do it, it actually damages me, because it causes me not to trust myself. How can I trust that things are happening for me and not happening to me? In the words that we speak, we can either speak words that allows us to heal, or we can speak words that disempower us and disempower other people. We can either speak a life into ourselves, or we can speak spells onto ourselves, because our words are so powerful. Through repetition, I can create a more positive environment within myself, where I'm not in this state of mind that I'm a victim, but I am a winner, and that even if things don't go my way, it's for the betterment of my future. And that things are going to go my way, because everything that I've ever written down, everything that I've ever manifested, it has come to pass. And I know how powerful that is. Just because something is delayed doesn't mean that it's denied. We need to root for ourselves. We need to be there as we are there for others. And we need to look at the causes of suffering as blessings as opposed to curses. And I feel like once you are empowered by your past, then you will have a better and brighter future. Yeah, we're visionaries. Yeah, we're creative when we come up with all these wonderful ideas. But are we executors? Right. And that's what I have to ask myself. You're so good at coming up with ideas. You're so good with doing all these other things. But you're not as good with following through. And you're not as good as executing. And why? Because the lack of preparation. I just really want to come on here and share my experience that you are phenomenal and you can do anything that you want to do. Hold yourself accountable, even if nobody else is doing that. Even if you're in an environment that doesn't align with who you are or where you want to be. One of the most powerful things that you can ever do is just surrender and to accept where you are in life and just to keep going. One of the most powerful things you can do is change your mind and declare what you really want, even if you can't see it for yourself, and allow those trials and tribulations you went through to be a more powerful leader, to know that you can get through anything. The things that you went through, the Lord has brought you out of those things and set you up for something better, a better position. I hope this really spoke to somebody about being conscious about the thoughts that you are thinking. Negative thoughts always come up, but the advice that I would give you about negative thinking is, instead of resisting it, because I feel like anything that you resist, it comes back harder. It's just embrace it and to let it just be. When I have doubt, you know, I heard somebody say that they think of doubt as an old friend, like, hey doubt, how are you doing? You know, long time no see. You know, and once you begin to embrace these negative thoughts with love and send love and not resist it, it makes you stronger. It makes you love yourself more, and it gives you more power over your mind. So thank you guys for tuning in to this Soul Talk video. I plan to be on here every week consistently, and please hold me to this. Please hold me accountable, because I really want to be this phenomenal woman that I've always seen myself as. I hope that me sharing my own experience with you will help you on your own journey. So please comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next Sunday. Love y'all.